You said, I always grew up wanting to be somebody. And I am somebody, I'm a pastor. And I told you then, I think this is now the time when pastors are coming into. It's been fairly easy to be a pastor, at least for white pastors in the last 100 years. And for the last 20 years, it's been fairly easy to be a pastor. It's not going to be soon.
Well, you know, to be a pastor that's going to speak the word of God, the word already has told us that there will be persecution because of what we believe. A church that does not experience a persecution because of truth needs to question itself. Am I preaching the entire truth?
David, we started the Black Robe Regiment. You started the Black Robe Regiment before 828, 5 years ago. And both of us have had the same prompting for a long time. Hold back, hold back, hold back. You've been working on that. I've been working on mine. But they go hand in hand. And both of us had the same prompting. Now, my prompting is, now's the time.
Right.
Is that your prompting as well?
Now's the time. And it is following the model of going through the communities, not going through the national stuff, just like they did in the American Revolution. It's very local.
So I said today that Bonhoeffer had less than 10 pastors. I think he had 3 or 4. He had very few that would stand with him. You have told me that you think you have about 17,000 that will walk through a wall of fire.
Yeah, as of now, there are 40,000 who have just signed a letter that said, we'll go to jail before we compromise our values on the marriage issue. And getting 40,000 pastors to say they'll go to jail, and one of them was a pastor of a church of 35,000, which is no small thing. And so these guys are starting to get some backbone, starting to stand up, and you haven't heard that in the news. I would think a group of 40,000 pastors might make, no, it's not. Because again, it's just community by community. And so
I want to talk to you a little bit about that on radio tomorrow, because you have something from some people that, can I say where?
Yes.
From the DOJ, that where they are saying, if the Supreme Court goes gay marriage, here's what's coming down the pike.
That's
and
right.
it is a bloodbath for churches, a bloodbath.
It will not be churches the way we've known churches for the past 4 centuries. It'll be a whole different mechanism.
And that is where the rubber meets the road.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's where the Black Robe Regiment has got to step up.
Can I ask you a question? Where Bonhoeffer made the mistake was Bonhoeffer, in my opinion, I mean, far be it from me to say, you know, Dietrich, what you should have done, but where Bonhoeffer made the mistake was he cared only about the church. And at first he cared about the Lutheran church. And he wasn't reaching out to the Jews or anything else. Later that changed.
Yeah.
But he cared about the church. These 40,000, will they go to jail to save the life of a Muslim who isn't Muslim enough?
That's what we'll find out. And it's a first step, because I don't think 5 years ago we'd get 5,000 willing to go to jail for anything.
Yes, I agree
So
with
the
that.
fact that they're standing now we get, you know, Jesus was known as the friend of publicans and sinners, not as the friend of Jews. And so who you're hanging out with. We'll see if these guys will make that next step. But it's a slow process, because we're having to re-educate pastors from their culture, from what they've been taught in school, from what they get taught at seminary. It's a whole, it's like, get back to the Bible, guys.
Pastor, Bishop, do you agree with me that, oh geez, I've only got 30 seconds. Real quick, I think a lot of people don't go to church because church doesn't really stand for anything. It doesn't tell you anything. It gives you a bunch of nice theories and you talk about an old book and everything else, but you're not telling me this is right, this is wrong in real uncertain terms.
If we're all interested in just entertaining people and being motivational speakers, there's no difference than what's in the world.
God bless you, sir. We will see you on August 28th.